Hi everyone, my name is Giovanna Proença, and today I will be talking about how can you solve deep thought, problem set 1 of CS50 Python, and tip calculator, the last problem of CS50, uh, week 0. So basically in this live, I will be answering you any questions you might have. So how can you join our meeting? Basically, you can click in the link that is here in the description or here in the chat, okay? If you click in this link, you will be able to ask a question to me and I will be here to answer you right now, okay? Besides that, meanwhile, we don't have any questions, or if we don't have any questions, I'm gonna be solving the problem set 0 tip calculator and the problem set 1 deep thought. I am Giovanna Proença, and I am from Doors Coding School. So basically, why are we doing this group coaching every week? In this group coaching, we are here to show a little bit about our work in our Discord group. So basically, if you want to help from our instructors and via a community, you can join our Discord group, and there you can ask any question about programming. And me, my peers at Doors Coding School, and people from around the world will be answering you within 24 hours. The good thing here is that you can join here. You're gonna meet people from around the world where you can network with, you can connect. People here are all taking beginner courses to learn how to code. So it's pretty good because you can help each other when you're learning how to code. There are people doing CS50, CS50 Python, CS50 Web, CS50 AI, Free Code Camp, the Odin project. Is pretty good because here we have a community of learners. And if you want to join, you can take a look here in our link. You're going to have weekly live. So this live that you're seeing here, where you can ask questions. You have the Discord community, and you have more than 500 coding problems with solutions. And this is good because we know that it's hard to learn by yourself. All right. So without further ado, since we don't have any questions yet, I will be starting the problem tip calculator of CS50. Okay. So what we have to do in this problem, you might ask. Basically, we're going to have this code in here that they are asking us to reuse. All right. We have something written inside already. And what are we going to do? We're going to create these two functions, dollars to float and percentage float to percentage to float, sorry. So what is going to happen? Basically, we're going to ask how much was the meal and how much you want to give as a tip. And then we're going to calculate the tip. All right, this is pretty much what we have to do. And here they tell us that we have to what we have to do in both functions. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's start in here creating our directory. This is something that probably you don't know because it's a little bit hard, but if you already know, it's good to practice again. If you want to create a new folder, you can click in here, new folder, or you can use make mkdir, and you can say the name of the problem tip. Now, if you take a look, we have this folder tip in here. We can enter in this folder by doing cd tip, and we're able to see in here this folder, all right? If you want to create a file, you can click in here, new file, or you can do touch tip.py, all right? And as you can see here, now we have a new file called tip. I'm going to start by copying this code in here, and we're going to work around what we have so far, okay? So what is going on? We have here this function main. So the main function will handle the whole problem that we have here to face. And we have a variable called dollars that we're asking the user what was the meal, and we are already calling the function dollars to float. So our function dollars to float will convert the input that we're getting into dollars. All right. Then we have a variable called percent, and we're asking what percentage would you like to tip. And here we're going to get the percentage from the user, and we're going to send this percentage to our function percent to float. And here we're going to convert the percentage into a float number. And then once we have the dollars converted to float and the percentage converted to float, we're going to multiply them and we're going to give what is the tip. All right? Let's see a little bit about the requirement. Dollars to float should accept a string as input, and we should remove the leading dollar and return an amount as a float. For instance, given $50, it should return 50, okay? So our goal here is to remove the dollar sign from the beginning and convert the number, this input, into a float number. All right, so how can we do this? Here we're receiving the variable D, okay? And I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna say D without dollar sign, and we're gonna remove the dollar sign in here. I don't know, here without symbol, for example, D without symbol. And I wanna remove the dollar sign, and how can I do this? Basically, we're gonna get our variable D, and I'm gonna replace the dollar sign with an empty string. So here I'm gonna do replace the dollar sign with anything, okay? So let's see what is going on so far. If I put here this, let me do here a return so it don't mind anymore. I'm gonna use the debugger. So how can I debug? I'm gonna run here, run in debug, choose a Python file, and we're gonna ask the user for $8, okay? So let's see what is going on. I'm gonna start from here. Please, if you have any questions, just send me here, all right? I will be answering you with pleasure. So here they are asking us how much was the meal. If I run here in step into, we're gonna be asked here how much was the meal. If I put $50, 00. Now, if you take a look, our variable D stores this string $50. And now our variable D without symbol, we're gonna remove this dollar sign, and we're gonna remove by adding anything. So once we run this file, our D will be removed with this dollar sign. We can barely see. Let me do here print D without symbol, and let's run it again. Oops. Let's run it again and see what we have in here. So if I put here $50, it will return to us here. Our variable D is the input that we're getting from the user. And then our D without the symbol, the dollar sign, will be just 50, okay? But as you can see in here, this is a string, all right, because we have quotation mark. So we should convert this into a float. So by the end of it, we're gonna return. How can we convert? We're gonna use float, and we're gonna convert the variable we want without symbol, all right? So then let's run our code again and see what we have. Here, let's see what is the value of dollars, okay, once we run our function. So how much was the meal? $50. And then we have here the variable D with dollar sign. If I replace the dollar sign with anything, we will remove this dollar sign from here. And we're going to convert this into a float. So if we take a look at the dollar variable, now we have 50 without quotation mark. So this part is working, okay? Now let's see the next step. The percent to float, we're going to accept a string, and it will be in the type of a number and percentage. And we're going to remove the trailing percentage and return the percentage as a float. For instance, given 15% as input, we should return 0.15. So here we have to remove the percentage, and we need to divide 15 by 100, or the percentage we're receiving by 100. So here, let's do the same step. First, we're gonna remove the percentage. So P without symbol. We're gonna replace our variable P. We're gonna remove the percentage, and we're gonna add anything in that part. Then we need to divide we need to convert this into a float, okay? So I'm gonna say here resulting P will be equals to we're gonna do float P without a symbol divided by 100, all right? Then Once we have this in here, we're going to return our resulting P. Now let's see if it's working everything the way we want. Okay, so I'm going to refresh in here. Actually, let me stop and I will clear here the terminal because there's too many things in front. So here it will ask us how much was the meal. I'm gonna put here $50. And then here we're replacing the $, we're removing the $sign from here, great. And now we're gonna convert this into a float. So here we have float. Then we're gonna call the function percentage, and they're gonna ask what is the tip. I'm gonna put here 15%. And then we have here the variable P, that is 15%. After this line, we will remove the percentage, and the resulting P will be 15 divided by 100. And here, we're going to have 0.15. That is exactly what we want. Now we have the percentage and the dollar, and we're going to multiply percentage by dollar. That will be our result. So the tip will be 7.5, and this is what we want. Okay? This is pretty much what we need for this problem. If you have any questions again, please let me know. Now, let's work with the second problem. Now, the second problem is a little bit different, okay? But before we see the second problem, it's important to think about one thing. If this week 0 was a little bit complicated to you, don't worry, this is super normal. It's hard to learn how to code, okay? It's not something easy to get. So if you're feeling that you're struggling a lot or a little when you're learning how to code, you can join our Discord community and you're going to gain more than 500 problems to practice. So this way you're able to practice from the easiest level to the hardest one in a concept. This way you can build strong fundamentals and avoid this feeling of frustration when you're trying to do a problem set and it's too hard. All right, so I highly recommend you signing up in our free Discord community. Well, now let's go to our second problem. If anyone has any question, I will move on. In this problem, deep thought, now we're going to work with conditionals. This is the first problem about conditionals. And what is kind of the idea? We can skip this. They're kind of textualized. They're giving some context here of what we should do, but we can skip. Basically, we're going to create a file, deep.py, and we're going to implement a program that prompts the user for the answer to the great question of life, the universe, and everything. If the user output, let me see here. If the user output if the user output 42, the number 42, we're going to print yes. If the user input 42 written this way with a dash or without a dash, we're going to say yes. Otherwise, we're going to say no. All right. So if the user can give us the correct answer, we're going to say no. If the user gives us 42 or the 42 extended this way, we're going to say yes. And we should be case insensitively. All right. So let's see. We're going to ask this question. What is the answer of the great question of life, the universe, and everything? If the user type in the correct answer, we're going to say yes. All right. This is pretty much what we need to do. So let's start by creating our file, actually our dictionary. Okay. Directory. I'm going to do cd ... to go back the directory. And I'm going to do again the same steps. Make their deep, cd deep, and I'm going to create a file called deep.py. So here we have a folder and a new file. What is our main goal? We're going to ask the user for a number. Okay, so here I'm going to say answer will be equal to input. And remember that input will ask the user for something. And what are we going to ask? We're going to ask for this message without the value 42. What is the answer to the great question of life, universe, and everything? Let me put here word wrap. Great. So we're going to ask the user for an input. And then we need to check if the user is giving us the correct input. Okay? So what am I going to do first? I'm going to check if the user is giving to us the number 42. So if answer is equals to 42. And remember that input will return to us a string, all right? So instead of putting here the number 42, it won't recognize. Since input stores the message of the user in a string, we have to put here in quotation mark. So if answer is equal to 42, we're gonna print yes, okay? Let's see if it's working. So let me try it out. And again, if you feel that I'm going too fast, please send me a message here in the chat and I can move slowly, okay? So if I do here python.deep.py, it's asking, what is the answer to the great question of life, the universe, and everything? And if I put here 42, it's displaying yes. So this is what we're expecting. But if I say here 42, it's not displaying anything because we're not handling this case, this scenario here in our if statement. Okay, now we're going to use an elif because we're going to give a second condition to our statement. So here answer. What if answer is equal to 40? True, this way with that dash. We should print yes. All right, we should print yes. Let's try it out again. If I do in here 42, it's printing yes, okay? But if I say 42 with a space, it's not giving anything, and we should accept. So we're going to create another statement, 42, and we should print yes, okay? So let's try it out. Now if I run and I say 42, we're printing yes. What if I put 5? It's not printing anything, but we should print no if the answer is not correct. So here I'm going to say else, and else means all the other cases, otherwise the conditions we saw previously, we're going to print no. Okay, so let's try again. If I run in here and I put 5, it's printing no. If I run 42, it's printing yes. If I say 42, it's printing yes. If I say, oops, 42 with a space, it's printing yes. But we're not thinking about the case insensitively. What if? Hello, HV, how are you? If you have any question, please let me know. You can join our live here by clicking in the link that you're seeing in the chat. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. I'm working right now with the deep thought problem, the problem set 1 of CS50 Python, and we're almost at the end. Right now, I already did the part of checking the number 42, checking the word 42 with a dash and without a dash. Now we need to work with the case insensitively, all right? We need to check, what if I put in here 42, all uppercase, and it's printing no, but we should print yes. And why are we having this? Because we're getting in programming. We don't understand that a lowercase letter and uppercase letter, they are the same. They are different. If you take a look more in depth about programming, you will see they have different concepts inside. So we have to be very explicit that we want to check for the same letter in both upper or lowercase. So how can we do this? We're going to use the lower method. And the lower method, it will convert our answer here into lowercase. Okay, so if I do in here lower, it will convert our string answer into lowercase, and then we're able to compare both answers, all right? We need to compare both answers in one case, or all in uppercase, or all in lowercase. Otherwise, our code won't see a match. They have to be in the same case, okay? So if I change here to dot lower for both of them, let's see. If I put here 42, uppercase, now it's printing as because it's recognizing. And the same should happen if I do 40-2 in lowercase, it's recognizing again. All right, so this is pretty much what we have for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to join our Discord community, again, you can join here. And it's pretty good because you can ask your questions and everyone will be answering you It's pretty good because you don't get stuck when you're learning how to code. And you also have more than 500 coding problems with solutions to keep practicing and totally understand the fundamentals. All right? I hope to see you in the next group coaching. Bye-bye.